As Alabama tries to win its 13th national championship, they're going to do it where they won their first one, and their second, their third, and their fourth, at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Now it's time to look back at the 12 previous national titles.
Alabama goes to the Rose Bowl first time in 1925. On that 25 team, there were lots of great players. One of those was Johnny Mack Brown, who later went on to be a movie star.
This Outlaws are well organized.
They were a great defensive team, and they didn't allow hardly any points. That's Coach Wade's last year at Alabama. Even though he was leading the team when they had won the national championship, the third national championship to the trophy case. That team was famous for the Howell Hudson, a great passer, great receiver. Don Hudson was one of the greatest players in college football and in the NFL. He still has some NFL records. The 41 team is probably the most controversial national championship for Alabama. It was kind of a split decision, so there are actually several teams that can claim 1941. Yeah, I think 61 has a special place in the Alabama history, much like that first Rose Bowl victory, that first one. This is another milestone, if you will, the first Bryant one, and kind of the resurgence and led to the 60s and the 70s successes.
With my limited vocabulary, there's no way that I can adequately say how very proud that I am of the football team.
This is really part of building the Bryant legacy as his teams not only win, but keep winning and build a tradition of winning, the expectation of winning, really getting the fan base to grow. And of course, this is the Joe Namath years. 64, 65, 66, all those are great teams. And two of those are crowned national championships, and the 66 team perhaps was the best team of those three. If you think of the 70s as a whole, that's really a period of dominance for the Alabama football team with three national championships during that decade. The goal line stand of Barry Krause against Penn State. Instead of kicking a field goal, they tried to run the ball into the end zone and are stopped. Barry Krause dives over the top and stops him for one of the great plays in Alabama football history.
There was one whale of a defensive play.
One of those players that stands out in that amongst many is Major Ogilvie, and he was one of those runners that wasn't that flashy maybe, but he was a tough runner that would take a hit and keep on moving, kind of the Mark Ingram style. The Georgia team is famous for taking away the ball, and it's a play that didn't count because Alabama was offsides on that play. The team built on defense, the result speaks for itself.
In front of Bryant-Denny Stadium, there are statues for every national championship winning coach at Alabama, starting with Wallace Wade. Next to him, there's Frank Thomas. Next to him, of course, the legendary Paul Bear Bryant. Next to him is Gene Stallings. And next to him, conveniently, is an empty spot, ready for, well, might as well be Nick Saban. Reporting from Tuscaloosa, Kerry Chow, Fox 10 Sports.